everybody wants to build new instead of looking at what you have today
Yeah,
and saying, you know, can we make changes to what we have in the past and upgrade those?
yeah,
And I think the answer is yes, we can.
yeah. I mean, I think for an organization like yours, I would say, you know, if you have the ability to build something larger than your current need is, you should just do it.
Well, and so that's,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't get the power here.
No, it doesn't, but it helps you in district and maybe there'll be a resource locally that.
Right, but that's why, I mean, you know, we've been working on with BPA, I don't know, for 2 years, but however long, we finally got them to study. To do a Portland area reinforcement study, and it's not looking at the bulk system, it's looking sub-region, so it's looking at the. You know, the more individual utilities and what the needs are there, so you know, it's Forest Grove, Minville, Claskanawha, Columbia River PUD. PGE, and actually looking at taking what is going to be required in the sub-region, not the bulk system, the 500 kV, but more into the smaller, you know, 230, 115, and what upgrades we need to do there. I mean, that was a huge effort to get them even to do that. And it's kind of a pilot for BPA. They've never done that.
Yeah.
They've always focused on the larger system. And I think, to my point is, or my feeling is, they've kind of neglected us as utilities.
So Scott, I from your answer to my question about why Washington and Oregon would favor the ISO system, I took two conclusions. Okay, one we can't do anything about, which is the politics of it, especially in Oregon. The PGE customers are a much more important constituency than the non-PGE customers.
Much smaller group.
Well, the second one is the environmental thing, that, you know, that I'm sure the ISO, from what you're saying, the argument is that that allows us to tap into this growing resource of carbon-free. So what do we say to that? What's the answer to that?
Yeah. Well, I think ultimately, you know, the renewables are still going to be more expensive, even though the prices have been coming down, they're still going to be more expensive than our.
Okay, but
so,
but I don't think saving us money is persuasive to the state, frankly.
no.
So the question is, is there, we just ignore it, or is there an answer? Is there an answer that says we need to preserve the access to the hydro so Oregon can develop its own wind power and solar power? What's the
answer? So I do think one of the elements that we didn't talk about that is, I think, risky element is reliability. I do think that we're going to potentially have more reliability problems if we're connected to ISO, because the way that California is structured with its resources, it's got a lot of people, a lot of megawatts of draw, and it's getting warmer, and the events are getting, you know, more long duration. So they don't have, you know, they've been building more batteries, they've been building more, you know, other resources, but
And your other job, right?
But ultimately they do not have. Again,
You need a pen?
worry about hooking ourselves up with somebody who's got more need. Remember, we went back to the issue around the RAFT, the resource adequacy program, and we worry about them, about us saddling ourselves with somebody who has more need than the action that can provide.
And does BPA, it provides surplus power to back up Bonneville and Civics? Variable resources, right? It does. So many arguments.
That's the capacity issue.
So the argument would be, what you were saying there is that we need the capacity in the Northwest to back up the wind and solar that serves Portland.
Yeah, I mean, Bonneville system, well, but I'd say Bonneville system is only surplus when it's satisfied all the needs for its
statutory requirements.
Statutory, requirements for customers. So that's first and foremost. And then whatever it's got for surplus, you can potentially sell, you know, or buffer, you know, PGE could buy it, for instance, to buffer their wind power. But it also could be involved in the California market or SPP's market.
And
but
CAISO could force them to sell down there, then rather rather than to BGP.
I think our worry is that California supremacy in power exchanges and transfers.
So
result
that's
in-
the answer,
Yeah.
right? That it's the answer to the first question about
Mhm.
who has the.
Well,
Yeah, just sort of inappropriately, right,
Yeah.
inappropriately leaned on, if you will.
Right, and also, I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that we need the Bonneville, the ability to not have that power forced to go to California to support our own wind and solar
Yeah.
resources.
Can I just inject real quickly?
Yep.
That in terms of governance, we are still streaming as long as we are talking about issues related to the utility. So I don't, just in terms of the overall kind of
Time.
timing and access to this,
Yeah.
one question I would have is, do we want to revisit this? Or are we able to kind of come back? I feel like there is, we've already talked about it, and we isolated down to 3 issues, but there's so many more things to talk
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
we're trying to do these work sessions every month for the near term. I don't know. It'll be way into next year, so we can do it again and have another on some different topics.
Updates on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There is a lot going on.
Yeah, so interesting. And the core of most of what we're doing, right?
Yep.
Very.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was
Good to have
very,
you.
very helpful.
Thank you
thanks
so
for having
much.
me. I really appreciate you guys. Sorry we had to go kind of fast through stuff. I mean, it's just a complex.
That's not
Mix
your
of
fault, that's
issues.
our fault.
But no,
That's
no,
how I
but-
feel.
But you all are impressively up to speed. I mean, there's folks we have to really start at an elementary level with, and the fact that you guys have your other jobs, your other pursuits in life, it's pretty amazing.
Some of them.
But I mean, it's pretty amazing to,
Yeah.
I always think it's such a challenge for the board members, because it is, it's, if, us utility folks, we're working in it, more than 8 hours a day, but when you are not devoting that amount of time, it takes a lot to just sort of understand kind of where things are in the context of reports.
I
Right?
think maybe a future topic would be BPA rates.
We'll send Mike down.
There you go. Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, we'll send Mike Dean down. Yeah.
We do appreciate that you came in person too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to do it.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, dark 30 from
Hood River?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
So, yeah. And you didn't have any questions, but I guess we could always.
See you later.
So maybe we will now officially
Okay.
adjourn the work session at 8:15 a.m.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. All right.
Thank
Thanks
you
again.
Great, thank
again.
you.
So helpful.